everybody, welcome to Goose's Disney Pod, and we are now in the magic year of 2001, pre 9/11, back when everything was nice and normal. Atlantis, the Lost Empire from the summer of 2001, and I'm here with my guest this week, John Minus. John, how are you?
Yo, I am great.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, I'm still recording these in advance. We're still in the middle of the pandemic. It's 5/18/2020. John, have you been quarantining and stuff?
Yeah, I've actually been quarantining since last summer.
Oh, okay. You had some health problems, correct?
Yeah, I had cancer, so I had radiation and chemo, so literally nothing has changed for me.
All right. So how do you like being at home? I actually love it. I don't know how.
I almost feel bad for other people because they're freaking out, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah, me too. I could do another year of this. I got to be honest with you.
The great thing is, like, I had a lot of anxiety from like fear of missing out, but nobody's doing anything.
Yeah.
So that whole anxiety is gone.
Well, yeah, I used to. So if I was home on a Friday just watching a movie, I would be like, oh my God, I should be out there doing stand-up. What am I doing, right?
Yeah.
And now I don't feel like that because, like, the only, like, they're trying to make Zoom a thing, and I retired from Zoom last week because I think it's fun. I don't think that's real stand-up, So now I don't feel bad. I'm like, fuck it. You know what? I'll watch all 7 seasons of Pretty Little Liars. What else I got going on in my life? So.
Yeah, it's freeing.
Yeah, it really
freeing.
Yeah, it really is freeing, and like I actually have anxiety about things going back to normal because like I'm kind of used to just sitting on my ass watching movies and TV shows now, and I'm gonna feel guilty when it's like, oh God, I should probably be at the clubs, but then again, everybody at the club's probably gonna die the first 2 months, so what are you gonna do?
I haven't had responsibilities in so long.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I actually have to do something.
John, how long were you doing stand-up?
I guess it's been like 11 years, but the last few years have been not as much just because, like I said, I had health problems and there was work issues and just I hate when life gets in the way of doing things you like. But yeah,
Yes.
I think I started like 11 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago.
And what got you into it?
Like most people, I hit rock bottom. And
Okay.
I mean, like, I feel like most comedians, well, not most, but a lot of comedians' history start out because they hit rock bottom. I had been unemployed for like over a year.
Okay.
And I was
Remember when that was rock bottom? Now that's like normal.
Yeah.
Remember when that was a problem? Oh, I haven't had a job in over a year. Now it's just like, it's Tuesday.
Yeah. I hadn't had a job for a really long time, and I was just laying on the floor of my apartment staring at the ceiling for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Buddha sitting under the tree, I had this realization, like, I should go do stand-up. No, I didn't do stand-up. I did the Moth first.
The storytelling show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did the Moth first, and I did a couple, and people would laugh at my stories. And like the Moth, it's still, even then it was still really popular. So there was like 200 people in, I can't remember if it was the New Yorican Cafe. It's someplace that's closed now. Mm-hmm. And I was on stage and there was all these people laughing. I'm like, well, this is basically it, right? This is stand-up. So I think I can do it. And yeah, then I started going to open mics at Stress Factory in New Brunswick, in New Jersey.
Okay.
And yeah, I got really into it.
And then you started how long have you been doing? Because I did it years ago. Now that I look back, it was like a long time ago, really. The Non-Productive, the show in Montclair. Is it Montclair or Just Jake's, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
okay.
Just Jake's in Montclair. That's, I think this would be our 6th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Just Jake's going to recover from Corona, or are they going to?
I think so, because it's kind of a staple around here, and Montclair is known for its nightlife. They're still doing food. Like, a lot of places are doing takeout.
Okay.
I think they're getting by doing takeout. I hope so, though, because we have a really good relationship with, like, how many people, have a show 6 years in the same place?
Yeah, I know. And it's a good show.
Yeah, there's long-running shows, and thank you. There's long-running shows, but, like, they usually move a lot.
Hmm.
So we were really. I always am thankful for having that venue. Um, but yeah, it's been good. It was the last show we had, I think, was my birthday. So it was January, and since then we've started doing kind of live podcasts every other week, like
Okay.
kind of like a talk show
Hmm.
format, and that's been fun too. It's been working out.
Cool. All right, that's good. Yeah, because I feel like more so podcasting conversations are the future comedy during this pandemic, more so than stand up on a Zoom. Have you tried Zoom stand up or?
I did an open mic. It was rough, but it wasn't because of the Zoom. It was because of me, because I was rusty.
Okay. Okay.
So like I can't blame the open mic for it because I was rusty. I've been like concentrating a lot on more script writing lately.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to write a book right now, a novel. So yeah.
Is the time for it?
Yeah, this is the time for stuff like that because I mean I was going into Zoom and then like I saw like two people play political games with it that used to play political games for real shows and I'm like no, I'm not playing these games. We can play these games when you have sold out shows and there's an audience and everybody loves you pay, but I'm not playing games to sit on a computer and yell into the computer like I'm doing right now to you. Sorry, John. I'm not playing that. I refuse. You know what? You have nothing. You have no power now. Don't start trying to act like you have power. You have no power.
Yeah, the playing field is even.
Yeah, so it's like I'm just not going to do Zoom. It's just stupid. I'm not going to do Zoom. I have other ways to express my artistic vision, like doing podcasts about Disney movies from 2001. So there you go.
Yeah, it's really like it took me. I had started again because I was like not really bedridden, but I couldn't really go out and do much for like almost a year. So I started writing. I started writing this script around February of last year,
Okay.
and I don't know if anybody's ever if anybody's tried to write an hour-long script for a TV show. It's hard, and especially as this is my first one. It's hard, and it takes a lot of revisions.
Yeah.
So I hope the next one will be easier. But yeah, it's taken a long time. So that's what I've been filling my time with. Um, but I
Wow.
do like stand up.
I
That's
love it. Yeah.
I as much as like I think even when I was little I wanted to write for TV.
Hmm.
Um, but and I always loved stand up. I never thought about doing it until 10 years ago. I never even crossed my mind to do it. I just liked enjoying it.
And you were the Decepticons too, right?
Yeah, we went. Yeah, Decepticons, and we went on tour,
Hmm.
and from we went from Boston to Palm Beach in Florida, and we went as far west as Chicago.
Oh wow, I was just in Chicago last summer. I at the time I hated it, but I think it's because the first time I traveled alone. But looking back, it was actually awesome. Did you like Chicago?
I was only there for 8 hours.
Wow, you're a racist, man. I can't stand you.
We didn't stay a lot of places for very long.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we stayed anywhere for a full day.
Oh, okay. Well, but still, it must be fun. Like I wish I could be on tour right now. I would love the shit out of being on tour right now.
It was really good, and I got really used to doing stand up every night, and I got really good. And then when I came back, it was like back to reality, and
Hmm.
sucked.
Yeah.
It's like yes, anybody like they come back off a tour and have to go back to their job and stuff. Oh, it's like a slap in the face.
Yeah, because everyone's treating you like a star, then you go back to work, and your boss is like, "All right, get this done. I don't care, whatever." Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you're the show. It's like there was five of us, but it's like, oh, the show is here.
Yeah. Yeah. You treat like a star. Yeah. It's fucking great.
And even if you bomb, you like learn something.
That's
And even
true.
that's the thing. Like we're five of us. It was me and Mike Brown, Cerrone Russell, and Gordon Baker Bone and Dylan Stevenson. And it's like even if one of us bombs, there's enough of us that like people are still happy with the show. They may be
Yeah.
like, they were like, "Oh, you guys were funny," but they don't mean you, and you know they don't mean you, but still. It's
If
fine.
it's some of you, yeah.
Yeah, it's some of you. It's always like the majority. There's a the majority. As long as people leave happy, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's you, and that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, no, that's true. Sometimes you, but the good thing is, like, you guys know, like, all right, we're putting on like almost like a variety show. Like, there's something for everybody. So
Yeah,
if they don't like me, they'll like the four other comics, and if they don't like, so and so, they'll probably like me. So
yeah.
that's a nice feeling to have.
I had a really good show in Atlanta. And oh god, wherever UNC is,
Mm.
the main UNC campus, which is freaking beautiful. Palm Beach was weird because it was my first time in Florida, and I had no idea what to. The crowd was so varied. I mean, like comedy club crowds are in New York are varied, but there were like old people and young people and like black people, but like they were all into. It was weird. It was just weird. Like I had no idea how to reach the whole room at once.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Florida, I feel like it's very touristy. Is that true? Did you find that from that
It
crowd over
was.
there?
It was. I didn't get to do Orlando. I only did Palm Beach. It was. It was.
Well, Palm Beach is a tourist attraction over there. So
Yeah, West Palm Beach, and it was Easter weekend, and it just seemed like some people just weren't in a good mood. I don't know. It's like comedy clubs are like that. Comedy clubs are really diverse audiences too, but it seems like everybody's in a better mood.
well, in other states, yeah, New York, sometimes comedy club audiences are just pissed that they're there as well, which is weird.
I
It's
like it. I like it when people like are there for vacation, like families, and they go to everywhere together. So they
Mhm.
go to the comedy club together, and it was like parents, and there's like a 16-year-old because like they're not going to leave their 16-year-old alone.
Yeah.
Night. So there's audience, and there's like a little teenager there. You're like, what? Your parents are either awesome or really
Yeah.
bad.
And there's always the one with the comedy show where the parent is like uncomfortable that they brought the kid, but like the comedian make a joke about the parent's sex life, and then like they gotta, what I mean? Like, it's just always a moment where the parent's like, oh god, this was a bad idea. I always see that moment at every show. It's like, oh
And
god,
it's hilarious.
because they're like, oh, my kid's fine, she's heard everything, and then the host will ask if her and the mom and the husband fucked each other in the ass or something, and the kid will look at them, and the mom will, and it's just like, yep, now the kid has that in their heads. You two fucking each other in the ass.
Yeah, and then you as the comedian are like, I don't even care how the rest of this goes.
Yeah, yeah.
I got my enjoyment for the night.
John, how was your childhood? Tell me about your childhood.
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Okay.
I have nothing but time to think.
Yeah.
So I think it was good.
Okay.
I'm really far from my childhood, so like I don't remember most of it, but I seem to like remember it not being bad. Like nothing traumatic happened, nothing awful. Like I had food, clothing, water. We weren't rich by any, I tell people like if you've never dislocated your arm cutting a block of government cheese, then you were never poor.
Yeah. Did you
But,
have government cheese? I've never had government cheese. I
yeah,
didn't even know the government made cheese. I didn't find that out until I was older. I was like, wait, the government makes cheese? Where's my government cheese? What the fuck?
it's just like when it comes to the deli though, it's like in a 3-pound block, so you have to cut it yourself.
Oh, well, that's kind
And
of shitty cheese.
yeah, and I was a child, so like trying to cut this cheese by myself was really hard.
Jesus.
And then yeah, they give you like a 5-pound drum of peanut butter and like a 5-pound drum of jelly, and
Oh, wow. That's a
and
lot of
no,
peanut butter.
yeah, and no frills food. Like you ever no frills food?
Oh, I remember that. I remember like I always wanted to make, when I was a kid, I wanted to make a commercial for No Frills, because I would just be a white guy in a suit being like, popcorn. They're like, we're No Frills. They don't have No Frills anymore. Did they like try?
They're
Did they?
spoiled now.
What?
They're spoiled now. With Wick, you can get brand name shit. That's oh my god, kids.
Yeah, I kind of want No Frills to come back. I really like that, because I was like, you would be in the soda aisle, you see like, oh, Pepsi, and then there'd be RC, and there would just be no frills soda, and it was just like they made no bones about it. No frills. They were like, "This is fucked. We don't have, we're not even gonna attempt to make a design. We're not
No,
even
what
gonna
is
attempt."
this? It's fucking cola. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You'll drink it and you'll like it.
And it was like, but it was also fucked up because if you bought it, everybody knew you were poor.
Yeah.
Because it was just everything was just solid white. So it was like, oh, that must be the poor family that they're buying no frills shit.
It's like even the poor kids are spoiled now, like having Fruit Loops, like Fruit
You
Loops
get
that
Fruit
are
Loops
actually
poor?
Fruit Loops.
I gotta get poor. Holy shit! It's funny. One time I wanted to try like the no frills cheese puffs, and my dad wouldn't buy it because he just thought everyone's gonna think we're poor if we buy that. I'm not buying that.
It was, and you know, like they say, it's all boxed in the same places, like it's all the same. Like today, if you get the bag cereal, you're kind of poor, but it's not necessarily like destitute. Like you may just like be trying to save money if you get the bag cereal.
My thing with the bag cereal is how do you even keep it if you don't have a box? Like I just feel like the cereal would come falling out and bugs could get into it. The box is what keeps the cereal fresh. So
yeah.
I don't even know why I probably wouldn't even buy bag cereal just for practicality's sakes. Do you buy bag cereal or no?
No, I only get honey. I get Raisin Bran and Cheerios because I'm old.
Okay.
So I have to worry about cholesterol and my colon. So
yeah, I was recently told to start eating more Raisin Bran, and I tried it for a month or two, and then I was like, whatever, because my colon. Yeah. But.
I don't mind. It's like because the way I figure it's like I had cancer. Like I should not have to worry about it anymore of anything. So I might start smoking. Like I really don't.
Like start hard drugs and hard food, whatever.
Yeah, it's like I can't do cocaine, unfortunately.
Oh, well, that's a tragedy. I mean, that was going to be my next question. If you want to do cocaine over Zoom, whatever.
It sounds fun. No, actually, because I have ADD, and you know, like they treat ADD with stimulants. I have this theory that if I do cocaine, I'll be like much calmer. Like it'll have the complete opposite effect on me. Like I would chill the fuck out.
I used to drink coffee with caffeine, by the way, to go to bed when I was a kid. Which I remember when people said, like, I would drink coffee. We would be watching the news or something, or honeymooners, and my dad, when we ran out of Ovaltine, because he would make me Ovaltine at first. Remember Ovaltine?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. Can you even still buy that? I don't even know. And then he started making coffee
too.
Well, I'm sorry.
Bosco. Is that around the same time? Like is
Bosco? Yes, but he never made me Bosco though. Bosco, but Ovaltine you serve hot. I don't know what you do. But then he would make me coffee, and I would drink coffee, and then immediately go to sleep. So people were like, "Oh, I drink coffee to wake up." I'm like, "What? That's what I drink to go to sleep." So when I drink coffee or have a coffee, I automatically get like tired. I just want to go lay down.
Yeah, so do I. I think sometimes like it wears off faster on me. So like because when I drink, I get the hangover faster than most people, but I get over the hangover faster.
Oh wow!
So I think when I have coffee, I think I get the crash faster than most people, so it helps me sleep.
Yeah. I think
like when you get the high and then you crash and you get sleepy, so maybe you just get the crash faster.
I think the only thing that really that has caffeine that is these energy drinks, but not even the ones with sugar. I'm talking like this Bang shit and this other one, CO2. I drank that before going to the gym, and I literally felt like I was on speed. I was like, I've never done hard drugs, but and then it's legal. They still at GNC. At least they did. But
yeah, if you go some places, you can still get Surge.
Surge! Surge is just pure like kidney failure.
Yeah, you can get Surge in the South, and that's why they're so they really hate people in the South. Like everything has all the stuff they banned in the rest of the country because it'll kill you. Like they give you more of it in the South.
In Alabama,
not even like once you get to Virginia, you can get Surge, and even in certain those places where they have those Coke machines where they has all the flavors, some of those have Surge.
Oh, when we do road gigs, I love going to like the makeshift, I guess, Turkey Hills or whatever. Yeah. On the road, especially when you're in Virginia or something, because they just have so much junk food that you just don't see in New York. Yeah. And it's just like, it's like crab cake infused cookies and shit. It's like this stuff is probably gonna kill me. But I'll never forget. I got a Doritos burger at a Sheetz, and I ordered it, and my friend's like, "You can't eat that. That's so unhealthy." And I'm like, "Well, when am I ever gonna eat this again? Where can I find this in New York? No one would do this." And it was, I felt like I was about to die after I finished it, but it was good. You know?
Yeah, if I see a Hardee's, I get 2 whole meals.
Yeah.
I fucking love Hardee's. But actually, no. What I was thinking of was Mellow Yellow. Mellow Yellow is bad. Surge is worse.
Yes, when I drink a Mellow Yellow, because I have kidney problems, I feel like I'm having kidney failure with the Mellow Yellow. But yes, Surge might be worse than Mellow Yellow. You are correct.
It's like Mountain Dew is third place, Mellow Yellow is second, and Surge is the first worst thing.
Surge is the first. This is why they've banned Surge everywhere, but places where you have sex with your cousin. Okay, cool.
Yeah, places where the education is really poor.
Places where they're like, I don't believe in his Corona. But
I mean, yeah, actually, if you're drinking Mellow Yellow and Surge, how much do you care about your life?
Exactly, that's my thing. It's like, you know what, you're basically gonna die of a heart failure in your 50s. So what does it matter?
Fuck about a flu, like.
Hey, you might as well social distance because you might die early. I'm already dying early. My kidneys failed last week.
Kidneys failing. Why do you think I'm drinking Surge?
I want to go out happy at least. Hey, what cartoons? Because you're big into cartoons even now. You're big into sci-fi and comic books.
Yeah.
What sparked that as a kid? What cartoons inspired you and stuff?
Well, I'm Gen X, so I was a latchkey kid. So TV raised me.
Yeah.
Like when people ask like what movie like represents you, it was Cable Guy. Like I really understood Cable Guy because I was raised by TV. It was my friend. Like I like commercials.
I love commercials. I like now. Do you have antenna TV? Do you have access to
Yeah,
that?
I have cable. Cable was my gift to myself.
Okay. Well, I don't like cable. Well, I don't like regular cable anymore because they're not putting any effort. Like I made a post about this yesterday on Facebook, but MTV, all it does is air ridiculousness. MTV has been airing episodes of ridiculousness since like 4:00 yesterday, and they're not going to stop until 5:00 today. And it's like, who the fuck is watching this many episodes of ridiculousness? And that's the schedule every weekend. When Christina, Christina Galston?
Yeah.
She stayed here one day, and I'm like, have you noticed all the airs ridiculousness? And then we went through the guide and counted how many times, and it was like almost comical how much MTV airs ridiculousness. And I'm like, why am I paying? Like people always go, MTV's not for you anymore. Okay, I get that. Who is it for then? Because I don't know any 14-year-old who's gonna sit and watch 97 hours of ridiculousness.
Yeah, I don't know who's watching MTV.
Yeah. But I like antenna TV. I like channels that put an effort into their schedule because that to me is an antenna TV and even Hallmark Channel. People want to give that channel shit, but they actually put some thought into what they're putting on the channel.
Yeah,
and I like that. A lot of cable channels now are just endless marathons of like 2 shows that they have.
Yeah, I watch a lot. Yeah, I've always watched TV. We had cable in 1984.
Wow. Okay, that's early.
Because my grandparents were always real into having the new thing first.
Okay.
So I remember when MTV started, like, and I guess that's what like people think I'm older, but like I remember like video killed the radio star and fucking Aha and all the videos, and people were like, videos, what are those? It makes me so sad. I'm like, you're missing a whole art form.
Yeah.
Like videos were an art form. Like and it's not that there aren't good videos now. It's just that there's no place to see them.
Well, there's no place for it to become like, Ariana Grande is like I still remember a lot of Britney Spears music videos, and I wasn't into her, but they were just always on TV. And that was like at the tail end of this, the music video era.
Yeah.
But like Ariana Grande, who even knows any of her videos? Like, for all we know, her videos could be state of the art, like masterpieces.
Yeah.
And we never even seen them.
Yeah.
They're not really in our. I know her songs, but I don't know anything about her music. I watched the one video where she made fun of Pete Davidson because I felt like I had to.
But I liked his rebuttal on his special. It wasn't. It wasn't bad.
Oh, what did he say? Because I didn't watch the special.
It was it. God, I can't remember. It was something about how like the real bad screwed up thing was that he doesn't have a big dick. So now
Oh, okay, that's
wants
pretty
to
funny.
talk to everybody wants to talk to him about it, and he has to like tell them that it's not true.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
she just made that up for the song. Yeah.
yeah, he's like, well, she really that's the really fucked up part. Like,
Yeah.
talk about
Now, like, if like, he gets with like a really hot chick and he pulls down his pants, he'd be like, Ariana Grande specifically told me,
it. Yeah,
and I was getting a huge sausage. What the fuck?
yeah, but yeah. So I watched like old MTV, and then I was there. For like beginning of Cartoon Network, before the beginning of Comedy Central, before it was Comedy Central, and Cartoon Network before it was Cartoon Network. But I always watch cartoons,
What were some of your favorite cartoons growing up?
like the usual boys stuff. But like I watched everything. I fucking watched the Punky Brewster cartoon.
Oh, I watched that. I watched the shit out of that.
I watched the Punky Brewster cartoon, Snorks, Care
Snorks.
like My Little Pony. Like I watched everything, whether it was for boys or girls.
Oh yeah, I was getting. It's so funny because I was talking about this the other day with somebody, but I think on this podcast I wanted Barbies as a kid and She-Ra's, but I didn't want them because like I was like confused about my sexuality. I was just a brat. I want the Barbie. I want the Rainbow Bright. I want there'd be a commercial, and the commercial, like, these are the boy commercials, these are the girls commercials, and I would just be like, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. I want one of everything. I need to experience all of this shit. And nowadays, I feel like if a kid went up and said, give me a Barbie, give me a Rainbow Bright, their parents would be like, oh my God, he's probably transgender or gay. And it's like, no, he's just a brat. He's just a complete and total brat.
It's my cousins inherited because I had 4 aunts. 2 of them were really into Gem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Gem too. Yes.
Yeah, and they brought everything. They brought everything Gem put out. So they're like my cousin's retirement fund because they have all of it in boxes. And it's like if times ever get real tough, they can always sell that Gem stuff and get a ton of money for it. But I was, the main 2 were G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Okay.
And like to this day, they're still like the most important things to me. I don't know if you can see it back there. Voltron.
Voltron. Is that the original Voltron? Because I had that.
Yeah,
I don't know what I did with it.
It's Lego Voltron.
Oh, I had the original toy Voltron I got it for Christmas, where you had separate pieces that you could put in.
Yeah, I had the die-cast one, but it wasn't the real one. It was a bootleg one from the flea market.
Oh no, I had the real one. I don't mean to brag, but I had.
The flea market one was fine. I got a lot of flea market. I got a flea market Shockwave.
Oh, okay. By the way, have you seen the I've been buying these because they're really awesome. Have you seen the Super 7 Transformer figures?
I'm on the Instagram Sabertron.com.
Okay.
And they show so many different types that
I'll show you because I bought 2 of them during the pandemic. Check that out. That's Alpha Trion.
Oh, Alpha Trion.
They don't transform. It's just their robot forms, but they're like figures like the Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
But like I've never seen an old ass Alpha Trion, and I had to get it.
Yeah, I didn't even know they. Yeah, I know. There's a guy I know. He's not way younger than me. He's like maybe 8 or 9 years younger than me. He's more into Transformers than I am. Like he has everything.
When I was a kid, I would. This is why I wasn't into Transformers that much. When I was a kid, I would buy a Transformer. I think I had Bumblebee was my first one, and they were like really hard toys. Remember the '80s ones were like
yeah.
I would get halfway through the transformation. I wouldn't know how to transform it back into either form.
Uh-huh.
And then it would just be like this weird half a transformer, and I'd be like, oh, I can't play with it anymore.
Well, that would work with Robotech, because Robotech did have a halfway form.
Oh, they did? Okay, I wasn't into Robotech.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah. My cousin showed me, and he was like, look, people die. And I was like, holy fuck, people die in this cartoon. Yeah. I've never seen people die in a cartoon.
I think in the New York area, they had it at a weird time. Like, they had it on Channel 5 before it was Fox Kids.
Yeah, it was on Channel 11.
Okay. Yeah, but I think they only had it like on Saturday mornings. But like
Yeah,
that channel wasn't known for cartoons, so it was on like a weird time
it was on Channel 11 before they put it on Cartoon Network later. But I used to Channel 11 had the best cartoons
during the day.
for
Yes,
a
during the
long
day
time. Yeah,
they
I
had GoBots, Transformers, GI Joe.
trans was Transformers Channel 11.
Yeah, at least in New York it was. Yeah.
Most of Well, I live in I grew up in Central Jersey, so we had all the same stations.
Okay. Yeah. So Channel 11 had Voltron, GoBots. It also had for a minute the fake Ghostbusters from Filmation, although technically they're the
Yes.
first.
Yeah, yes. That's why
It
they're the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it had Ninja Turtles, Channel 11.
That's
Channel
right.
5 had Masters of the Universe, uh, the Looney Tunes, Woody Woodpecker,
Yeah, yeah. I was a
She-Ra.
I was a big Channel 7 guy.
And I mean on the weekends.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah, I was Channel 4. I was more into Channel 4.
Channel 7 had the Disney after they had the Disney cartoons.
Yes, well, Channel 11 went to Disney Afternoon
Later.
in the 90s. Yeah, they didn't drop like Transform. Well, they weren't really making Transformers in the 90s like they were in the 80s. So.
Yeah. But Channel 4 had Captain N.
Yes,
Amazing.
and the Smurfs, and they used to air the Smurfs on a long fucking block. It was like sometimes I still feel like I'm in the middle of that Smurfs block. It would just be like, as a kid, you'd be like, "Oh my, how much Smurfs are they going to show?" And it would be like 90 minutes or 2 hours of Smurfs every, and then they would go to Alvin and the Chipmunks
Oh, yeah.
and Channel 2 I only like for Garfield and Muppet Babies.
Yeah, and they had Dungeons and Dragons too.
Yes, yes, yeah. And also they had these weird, and I've seen them now on the YouTube, these weird news breaks. So this is how you knew Channel 2 was always for old people, because for those you know, you'd have cartoons, right? So you'd have like a cartoon, and then like there'd be like a commercial break before each cartoon starts, and they would have like a news segment with like this very serious news. Today in China, 15 people died because of this coronavirus. It's not really a big thing. It's going to be a big thing in 40 years. And, the prime minister shot 4 people, and now back to Garfield. And they would have like this weird like this news thing, and then you'd go back to cartoons.
Maybe that's why I'm more worldly than most people. Like more.
Yeah.
I was getting subconsciously fed like world events on channel.
Yeah, it would be like in Brussels today, 14 people were murdered in a fire, and their parents said they'll never recover from this. And now Garfield. You know what I mean? Wait a minute, what? The stock market plunged this weekend after 15 companies in Australia went out of business. These companies were, it would just be like, and then it would go right into like Teen Wolf.
So there's all these really informed kids running.
Yeah. And I like that because it kind of felt like, oh, the real world is still part of the cartoon world. Like there's still a world out there, and we're gonna have to learn about it. And it wouldn't sugarcoat anything. 14 people were raped last night in Times Square. Like, I don't know. I keep saying 14 as the number, but and they got rid of that now, and now they don't have any cartoons. I just get so mad there's no cartoons on Saturday mornings. I get livid. People are like, "Oh, you can put on the Comedy Central." I mean, I'm sorry, you can put on Cartoon Network or something and pretend. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's not the same. Not the same.
Yeah, there's not the same variety. My blind spot, like I always say, like if I was on cartoon trivia, my blind spot is Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah, I didn't have cable until 2000, so I only recently got into the Nickelodeon shows like Rocko's Modern Life and Hey Arnold in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
I was never into them, and I got into Rocko when my dad was sick because I couldn't sleep, and I would stay up and watch Nick Rewind on Teen Nick.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I think it was a little after. I think Invader Zim was like the last show I watched on Nickelodeon.
Oh wow!
And I never watched Disney stuff that wasn't Disney Afternoon. I don't know any Disney stuff.
No, I didn't watch. Well, the Disney Channel once they got the formula of like, hey, let's make shows that make Saved by the Bell look like art. The live action shows, they fell into that, and I know Disney Channel in the 80s and 90s sounds like it was fucking bizarrely awesome. But I never had it back then. Once I got it, and they were already in like the That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire era. So
yeah, I've been writing reviews of this season of DuckTales, And so in writing the reviews, I've been researching some of the older episodes because I still like vaguely remember them, and they really go back and get some stuff from their first show, and they go back and get stuff. I didn't know how old Disney characters are.
Well, the comic book, I did a read through because I don't know if you remember, I was reading every issue of Action Comics ever, and I was documenting it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I started doing a reading of every issue of Walt Disney Comic and Stories ever, and that's where Uncle Scrooge got his start. And Uncle Scrooge, DuckTales could be 700 episodes, and they still wouldn't get all the Uncle Scrooge stories from the comics. They have some really good stories, the Uncle Scrooge stories.
Yeah, no, and I thought Gyro was, because I was looking up something about Gyro Gearless. I thought he was just made for DuckTales, and it was like I looked at it was like premiered, it was like first issue 1956.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Disney comics, and it's weird because they're kind of like they have their own fan base and they do their own thing where Donald Duck goes on adventures and they're high adventure comics, and they're really big in Italy. Donald Duck is huge in Italy. Like, he's like just as big as like fucking Breaking Bad and shit. But we never see these stories. But they're all out there in the world. These characters are still having adventures, and Disney doesn't promote it. They don't really do much with it. But the Disney comics are a big deal.
Yeah, they're still good. I have some Darkwing Duck.
Mm-hmm.
I have some Darkwing Duck, and they're really good. I have all of the comic books from TV shows are good. I like Simpsons comic books.
That's a good one.
I like Disney Afternoon comic books. I got some Adventure Time ones.
Have you watched the Midnight Gospel or something, whatever the fuck it's called, the new thing?
No, what's that?
The Adventure Time guy created a show on Netflix. It's for adults.
No.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No,
Do you have Netflix?
Yeah, I don't have everything. I have a lot.
Okay, this is if this is like an Adventure Time kid discovered mind-altering drugs, this is the show for him. This is like the adult. If Adventure Time is like for inquisitive like 12-year-old, this is for like he hit 23 and he wants to write a book about quantum physics. Like, this is that show. You got to check it out.
Yeah, I just there's so. Let's see there's so much. I even like the things I like today. And
yeah, what cartoons are you into today? Because I know you're still in the cartoons.
The funny thing is, like, I really like Steven Universe.
Okay.
And it's not my kind of show. Like I saw how you were talking about She-Ra, and I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't watch She-Ra, but
I watched the clip. And I wanted to blow my brains out. I was like, this is everything that's wrong with animation.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Netflix Voltron, which is not a bad show. Like, I keep trying to, because, like, I'm trying not to sound like a hater anymore.
No. But, well, here's my thing about She-Ra.
It's not a bad show. It is a bad Voltron show.
Well, yes. Here's my thing about She-Ra. I'm not, okay, so she's gay. Hordok's not really a bad guy. Whatever. Why do that with that character? Why not create your own character and put that out there? Like, you know what I mean? Like put out your own character, and I think I'd be more cool with it. But it's the fact that you take She-Ra and you throw your own ideas on She-Ra, or you throw your own ideas on any character. It's like, why not create your own shit? You know what I'm saying?
Like, at this point, it's just weird with reboots, because like you get a property and then you just make it into something else. It's like, why didn't you just make this something else?
Yeah, I know, and maybe because it's easier. Like, if I can get a meeting with an animation company. If I'm like, I want to reimagine Snorks, then I have this new thing about, I have a new idea about like these underwater creatures. But if you go like, actually it's a reboot of Snorks. Oh, Snorks! Oh, wow, that's great. Let's do it. All the Snorks are now transsexual. Awesome. Let's make it.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it's like,
no, I would watch that.
What, of all the Snorks are transsexual?
Transsexual Snorks.
But I'm just saying, like, why not create your own project and let kids have their own thing? Like, it just feels like everything now is just a reboot. Like in the '80s, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Gem, it was all our own thing, and I think that's why we have such loyalty to these things, because they were like, they're ours.
Yeah.
It was so many new ideas being thrown at us, whether it's Rainbow Bright, whether it's the Bionic 6, when no one remembers. But there were always these new ideas.
Bionic Six is a very underrated, very diverse,
Yeah,
progressively diverse show because the black guy wasn't just the strong guy. Like in every cartoon, like being black, like
they
I
have buried that show.
huh?
They have buried that show.
Yeah, you can't. That and Eek. You can't find Eek
Oh,
anywhere.
Eek was great too. Yeah,
Eek
but
was,
Bionic Six, yeah, it was very diverse and it was like really well written.
yeah, it was. It was when like being black, like people talk about representation. Now I'm like older. I'm like, you snowflakes. But I'm like, what? It did. It did matter that there were a lot of black GI Joe. There were a lot of black Joes.
I know there were.
There weren't
Yeah,
any black. There weren't any black women. So like, I understand. Like, if you like being a black girl, like if you're a black girl, you never saw other black girls. Like, there was
well,
them, and it was the chicken Josie and the Pussycats, and I
well,
think that was it.
well. My thing is, people are beating their chest the 2 years ago about Black Panther and Captain Marvel. Like this has never happened before, and I'm just like the number one comic book in the '80s that everybody read was X-Men, and 99% of the time, the leader of the X-Men was Storm, who was a black woman from Africa.
Yeah,
And it's to me, it's like that was amazing, and nobody back. No, I don't. There were no protests about it. People just accepted it, and they loved Storm, and it's like there was representation out there, and we. What I'm trying to say is like they act like they. Sometimes with Captain Marvel, they were like Brie Larson went on a tour like she freed the slaves. And I'm like, there was female representation, powerful female representation that was not only there, but was also extremely popular,
yeah. It was. The '80s and the '90s were more progressive than today is, and it's weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is like
It's
like Cosby Show.
Yeah. I was rewatching because I love Night Court, and like the third episode of Night Court, Dan's best friend transitions from a man to a woman, and he has to deal with it.
Yeah.
That was mid '80s.
Yeah.
And that was like the third episode of the show. So they're like, yeah, we're fucking going for it. Like they didn't like try and ease it into later seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like the '80s, and
the '80s. No, the '80s were. Oh, come on, Jesus Christ! The dog just puked on the couch, so I gotta clean it while we're doing this. We're gonna keep going. Yeah, the '80s were, and the '80s, like, and I contribute. Friends is the downfall of a lot of shit going on, but like in the '80s, you would have Cosby Show, Different World, and then Cheers, and then I don't know, Family Ties, right? And nobody would bat an eye. Like okay, so we're gonna watch these shows, and then when UPN kind of showed up, and other shit, it would be like, okay, you have a block of black people shows, and then on Channel 4 we have the block of white people shows. When it was like, it used to be more like all inclusive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cosby Show and Different World were for everybody, but they were really like indicative of the experience that black people have in this country. You know what I'm saying? And they were positive examples. They weren't like everyone's getting murdered and shit.
Yeah. It was yeah, like there was, and then there were like very special episodes. Like there was the Thundercats where Tiger started sucking dick for coke.
Was there really that episode?
It not that extreme, but he did get addicted. He got addicted to some kind of like fruit, and he basically was just like hanging out. It was like heroin. He basically was just like, eating his fruit all day and like just like sitting in a corner. And it got really bad.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and that is a real episode. And then it was Galaxy High, which was CBS.
Oh, I had that show too. I had that on DVD actually.
And there's a drug episode in there too.
Oh wow, I gotta watch that. I gotta check that out. I have in the mid 2000s they put out every '80s show on DVD, and I bought those box sets like a lunatic. I was like so happy to have my childhood back. I was like, yep, things aren't ending. Now they're not putting out that many DVDs as they were before. But
yeah, it's hard to find a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I have
get Eek anywhere. That was such a good show.
That was a good show. Nobody talks about it. It's just very weird how some things like just vanish. And some things keep going.
And people still at least remember Courage, which was very much like Eek. It was like in the same vein, but not the same.
I think the smartest thing that Nickelodeon did and Cartoon Network did is kind of lump all their shows together as like a brand. So
Yeah,
like, you Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, you associate all those shows together.
yeah,
Whereas like the Fox Kids and Kids WB, we don't really do that, or even like the NBC cartoons. Although people don't really do that. Like they're not like, oh my god, remember NBC Kids? Like no. Sometimes people don't even remember the networks these shows were on. Although we do because we're lunatics. But
yeah, because we're lunatics. Yeah, because there's the cartoon era,
mm-hmm.
and there's Toonami, which went away for a while, and then it came back, and then there's
Adult Swim, of course,
which is almost its own channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of my favorites these days are, like I guess the more adult cartoons, but I still like kids cartoons too. I love Adventure Time. I love Steven Universe. In my head, I have a very complicated relationship with Rebecca Sugar because those shows make me feel feelings I don't like to feel.
Okay. Like, tell me like, oh, we were pen pals, and then I had her shot or something. I was like, right.
It's because she is really good. She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But she makes these like emotionally terroristic songs that just make you like, you think you're just gonna have a happy little day, and then it's just like pow, right in the feelings.
I've got to check it out. It's so hard. Like when I had before I got Hulu, it was so hard to catch that show if your only way of watching it was Cartoon Network. They would like air it like once at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah. It's Steven Universe is very, very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really good story. Adventure Time was really good at sneaking in super dark episodes that you weren't expecting, and then you're like, oh fuck. So I like I watched this YouTube video about how more cartoons are becoming serialized now.
Yeah,
they're like one-off episodes, which I think is good. It's mostly good.
It's good and bad because like I feel like a show like Animaniacs I can just put on and phase out. But if every show's serialized, even the cartoon shows, it's like, well, you can't just put that on for a kid because then the kid's gonna get confused. Like what is this? What's going on here? What's going on there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why I started having to watch Steven Universe, because I'm like, wow, this cartoon has spoilers. That is something I had to deal with when I was little. Like cartoons have spoilers now. They have like twists and shit.
The only cartoon that had a spoiler was Optimus Prime died in the movie.
So my favorites now, like Boondocks was something like nobody had seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe my favorite show. I went down a list. I was like, it's Boondocks, Archer, Venture Brothers. God, what were the other two? I watch a shit ton of anime too, but that's like a whole other conversation.
Oh yeah. Did you know what's his name? Fuck. I think John Marco Stressi's in anime. But I met a guy who does voices. He was in the podcast.
We talked about that. We went on a whole road trip.
Oh, you and John Marco?
Yeah, we had a show in not the Catskills, the Woodstock together. It never came up. I love that guy. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he was super into Dragon Ball Z when he was a kid because he did Jungle Book. But then this other guy, Bob Biggerstaff, has done voices for Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
Oh wow!
He's a comedian. He was originally in Texas, now he's over here. But he did Rescue Down Under with me.
Voice acting is a fun thing to get into.
I didn't realize until this whole. Do you know this guy Vic something?
Vic Mangio? No.
The guy who's being canceled. He was a Dragon Ball Z voice. I didn't realize that dub actors have fans because when I was a kid, I was told by my Asian friends, fuck the dub. You only watch it with subtitles. And I'm like, yeah, dub actors stink. But I didn't realize they have an actual fan base. I'm like, that's weird. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like Free Summer has been in literally every. The thing with it's hard to get into voice acting because there's like 8 of them and they do all the jobs.
They especially in anime because I feel like this every dubbed actor sounds the same in anime. So
yeah, no, there really is like 4. There's like 4 guys, but like Free Summer, Tara Strong's hot as fuck, so that's why she has a lot of fans.
Yeah.
But Cree Summer's been in every cartoon since Inspector Gadget.
I feel like the girl who does Ahsoka Tano, whatever, however you say it, from
Tia Sagar. Yes, not Ahsoka.
Ashley Eckert or something. I feel like she's hot too, right? She's hot, right?
Tia, the girl who does Sabine Ray was she's Vicky on A Good Place.
Oh wow, okay.
She's Indian. She's gorgeous. Oh god. But yeah, like, and oh god, and the guy who does Batman. Yeah, like a lot of the guy who does Batman, the animated series voice.
Kevin Conroy, he's the man.
Kevin Conroy has fans. John DiMaggio has fans. Cree Summer has fans. Like I said, Tara Strong. The guy who's Spike in
James
Cowboy
Marsden.
Yeah, he has fans. Yeah, a lot of them. It's like sometimes you'll watch a show just because of the voice actor.
Yeah. So let's get in a little bit into Disney a little bit. Did you watch Disney films? Did your parents take you to them as a kid, or?
Nope. We were a very, very not. I can't say we were because it wasn't like my mother had any say in it, but I was very much WB.
Okay.
It was like Coke and Pepsi. Like it was Disney and WB. You either one or the other.
Okay.
And I was very much WB because WB had DC and Looney Tunes. So yeah, no, I wasn't very Disney, and like it was very much like a boy thing. Like, those stupid Disney girl cartoons.
Yeah, it's kind of I was after a certain age. When I was a little kid, I loved Disney, and then when I got into my middle years, like 9, 10, I was like, no, fuck that. Yeah, they're for kids. They're for little girls. Yeah.
But like the TV cartoons were undeniable. Like Gummy.
Oh yes.
Gummy, like, how do you not watch Gummy Bears? How do you not watch Rescue Rangers? How do you not watch DuckTales? So that was like my exception. Like all the way up to Gargoyles.
Gargoyles. Sometimes I can't believe Disney made that.
It was different. It was very different from anything else they made. And I wasn't that much into The Next Generation, but it was like that was the weird crossover that almost everybody on Star Trek: The Next Generation was in Gargoyles.
Yeah, Michael Dorn was in that. Yeah.
Almost, it started with Jonathan Frakes because he was Xanatos, and he brought everybody else over at some point. Like Data was his assistant. I can't remember his assistant's name. Actually, that was serialized.
Yeah, that was, yeah. That was one of the first ones.
Yeah, because that has spoilers.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the first serialized cartoons, like just on regular TV. And then I think when they did the Goliath Chronicles, they kind of stopped that, and the fans were like, "Fuck this!" Remember, went to like the Goliath Chronicles last season.
Yeah, that was trash.
Mm-hmm.
But because that has spoiled. Like I was just thinking, like, oh my god, no! If you haven't seen it, you wouldn't know that because there was a big reveal. There was a couple of reveals.
Yeah, I've got to watch more of that show. I tried to watch it as a kid, and then like it debuted when I was kind of falling out of love with cartoons and getting more into reading comics and reading books. And I've always meant to go back and really watch it. Now I have no excuse because there's Disney Plus, but.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, and Darkwing Duck was Batman, but it's funny because my friend Craig Mahoney, he's always like shocked that I love the DuckTales reboot so much because I generally hate reboots too.
Yeah.
They do such interesting things with the source material. Like they don't abandon it, they just rework it into their show. Mm-hmm. And you can tell they saw it and they knew it. Some things they change out, right? And the things they change, I don't mind. Like, because if you're going to change something, make it funny.
Yeah.
And the changes they made are funny and like interesting. And they pick tidbits from the old shows and put it in the new shows in different ways. And I'm like, this still feels like DuckTales. I don't hate watch anything. If I don't like it, I don't watch it. But I hate watch Voltron.
Yeah, you hated Voltron. I remember that. You're like,
because I was like, the potential for something better was always there, and I'm like, maybe this season.
I hate shows like that. Yeah.
it never happened, and I'll never like I. That's why I don't hate watch things.
Mm.
But but yeah, like I like it's in terms of like kids cartoons. I really Adventures of Gumball is hilarious. It's some of the best writing on TV.
That's a good one.
Gumball is really funny. It is really funny. I've been watching a lot of that. Teen Titans Go. My favorite thing, and I think we talked a little about Teen Titans Go and Thundercats Roar.
Oh, I hate Thundercats Roar.
But you know what? I wasn't gonna. I was like, oh, that's silly. I'm just not gonna watch it until I watched the Teen Titans Go Thundercats Roar episode, because they were like, it's funny because it starts out. Teen Titans is a super meta show.
Oh yeah, beyond meta. Yeah.
And they have episodes about how much people hate their show because it's not Teen Titans.
Mm.
So when they hear there's a Thundercats show in this episode, they're like, oh, we love Thundercats from the 80s. And they watch Thundercats Roar and they're like, what the fuck is this? Which is exactly the response people had to them.
Mm-hmm.
This is funny. This is funny.
That's pretty.
I was
funny.
like, you know what? I'll allow it, because I just like the way they led into it like that. But some things, there's so many versions of them that I don't get. Like, there's so many versions of Turtles now.
Or Transformers. There's like a new cartoon every other day.
Yeah, there's so many versions of them that, like, every time there's a reboot, I'm like, all right. Like, dude, after a while, you're just like, do I like this one? Nah. Well,
yeah, people got mad about the new Turtles, and I'm like, I still haven't even watched the one from 2012. Like, you know, the CGI one. Like, why am I getting mad about something when I still haven't seen all the episodes of the other incarnations, you know?
Yeah, I never watched Beast Wars, but I think it was Armada. It was post the movies. It was post the Michael Bay movies. So it was like, so Bumblebee was a Camaro. And that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. And there was one Turtles, I can't remember if it was the CGI Turtle show, but there was one where like it wasn't bad either. But yeah, there's so many shows, there's so many, and I keep thinking of Peter Eastman and Kevin Laird, because I think Peter Eastman is on Instagram. And
well, they're writing a last Turtle story for the comics. I don't know.
Oh,
that.
they did?
Yeah, they are. I mean, I don't know if they're still doing it with the pandemic, but they know.
Did you see the Batman Ninja Turtles movie?
I haven't watched it yet, but I know everyone says it's awesome.
It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I've got to get on that.
I keep thinking when it first came out, I'm like, this is really weird and awesome. But everybody made fun of Ninja Turtles. They were like, what is this? And it's lasted so long.
Oh my God.
Ninja Turtles has been around forever and it won't stop. And I'm like, these guys had this one idea that people thought was really silly. Mm-hmm. Been living off of it for over 20 years.
But you know what? Well, you know why that idea works, and like I like Transformers, but after like 5 of the characters, I don't know. Like there's just so many, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas Turtles, there's like a dynamic between these 4 brothers, and that dynamic works. Like every turtle is distinctly different, and it's a really good dynamic between those 4 people.
It's a story that doesn't age.
Yeah, like if you added a 6th turtle or a 5th, I'm sorry, they did a female turtle, but if you added like 2 more turtles, it would fall apart. But the fact that it's like they're archetypes, but like they work. The nerd, the rebel, the leader, the party guy, that works.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and then like, and it's so funny because they had. In one of the series, they actually did this on Teen Titans too, but the Turtles did it first, where there was like, they had every version of the Turtles.
Yeah, Turtles Forever, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing, because like the original TV ones were like soft kitty ones. Mm-hmm. And then there were like the super hardcore ones from the comic books, and like the Turtles in that series was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
They were like the black and white, like
Frank Miller Turtles. Yeah, I love that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then like I remember when somebody told me that it was a parody of Daredevil, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
That's so awesome.
I think there might even be like a Daredevil Turtles crossover somewhere.
I think in the comics, I don't know about definitely not in live action or
Yeah, not in live action, but I think in
Mhm.
the comics somewhere.
Oh, if they did a live action Daredevil Turtles, I'd go ballistic. I'd be like, yes. Um, so John, so today's movie we watched well, we didn't watch it together because of Corona, but Atlantis: Lost Empire. Had you seen this movie before this?
No, and the thing is, like, a lot of the Disney movies with that aren't musicals don't get any attention.
No, they don't. They're buried.
Yeah, but they're usually the better ones.
Hmm. So
Um,
you like this movie?
yeah,
Okay.
I did. It's still like, I mean, Disney still puts. I mean, they always put a lot of effort into their movies.
Hmm.
And I looked at some backstory. Like, they created a whole language for this movie.
Yeah, which is very impressive considering no one saw this movie besides us.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into it, and it was Jim Varney's last role.
Yeah. Hmm.
But
Earned it. This was the last Ernest's last ride.
yeah, it's considerably better than the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, okay, with
Uh,
Raul Jewell.
Raul Raul Julia's last ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is much better.
So this movie came out when I first started buying DVDs. Like I would be like I just love the special features. I don't know if you remember how huge special features were back in the day. Remember those
Yeah,
days?
I don't know how they do that without DVDs. I think they still have them, sort of.
Some have them. Disney will still, if you buy a Disney movie off Vudu, you get the special features with it, which is nice. But others, like if you like, I bought Justice League Apocalypse Wars on
Yeah,
Vudu, no special features. So if I want to get special features, I have to buy the disc. But some of them do them. But the special features on some of these discs were just insane. And I remember Atlantis had a 2-disc box set. It was this massive. It was like $30, and I bought it. It's like, oh my god, there's like 9 commentary tracks and all these behind the scenes photos that I'm gonna spend years with. And I watched it, like once, and I was like, okay, this is way too many special features for this movie. But I watched all the special features in preparation for these podcasts. And the funny thing is, everyone that worked in this movie worked on Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, and it was the whole that crew that made these movies in the 90s that grossed so much money. And the big thing they kept saying, "We'll make this movie." We wanted to make a Disney Star Wars. We wanted to make a Disney comic book, like a movie like Star Wars. They kept saying Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And it's so funny that they didn't succeed with this movie. So Disney just went like, "Fuck it, we'll just buy Star Wars." We'll just buy Star.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We keep trying to make our own, but yeah, no, it's good, and it sucks that, like, just because it's not a musical, like, it doesn't get the attention.
Yeah.
It is real. It is really good. Like, the acting is really good. The animation's really good. I find it hilarious that they set up this huge expedition and 80% of them die immediately.
Yeah. Just kind of for this wacky, diverse team. So just some backstory. This kid, his grandfather found Atlantis. He's also a scientist. He gets hired by John Mahoney from Frasier, right?
Oh, that's where he's from. I knew the name. I couldn't. All right, yeah.
Yeah, John Mahoney. He plays a Cedric Richardson. He gets hired to lead an expedition into what they think is Atlantis. They get attacked though by a giant fish, right? Is it a giant fish they get attacked by?
Yeah, it was a kraken.
A kraken. Okay.
Yeah, but it was a mechanical kraken.
Yeah, so 80% of the crew dies. They find Atlantis. Literally, everyone dies horribly.
Like,
They're actually
it's gonna be that kind of movie. I didn't know that.
they're actually pretty pathetic. I love this guy. I assembled a crack team, and like 80% of them just die the minute one thing goes remotely wrong. The whole team just fucking dies. So then it's just Michael J. Fox, this mole guy, this French badass, this hot Puerto Rican chick. Not hot, she was average looking. This big black guy, and this hot blonde, and the general. And then they go, and then you find out the general and the hot blonde are evil. They steal the power source of Atlantis.
You kind of suspected.
Yeah.
In their crew, there were like guys who they look like stormtroopers. Like, you never see their faces. They wear like gas masks, and they've always got guns. It's like, wow, your team looks really evil. You guys evil? And they're like, no, we're not. And it's like, okay.
You know who did the designs for this movie? Mike Mignola from Hellboy.
Oh God, I love. Yeah, that's the other thing. It doesn't look. It looks more sinister than Disney.
Yeah, because they went to him because they wanted to look like a comic book. And I remember he tells a story in the DVD where they're like, Disney call hi, I'm from Disney. We want you to work on our next movie. And he was like, yeah, you know I'm the fucking guy that draws Hellboy, right? Like he was like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? And then they called him for a meeting, and he's like nervous because he's like, and he kept saying in the meeting, I'm the guy who draws Hellboy, and they're like, we know, and that's why we want you to make this movie. We love Hellboy.
Yeah, this is what happens when you make a movie that you like.
Yes, I feel like they made this movie because of stuff that they just like.
Yeah,
And it wasn't commercially successful. And I think they learned that it's like, oh, we just have to make movies for kids and market research teams than stuff we actually enjoy.
yeah. I looked up the money, and they didn't lose money on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, I think they did good, but it kind of like fell.
It wasn't Lion King money.
Yeah. And I don't think people really remember them. You know, nobody has love for this movie like they do Lion King or even Lilo and Stitch, which is next year.
Yeah, and Lilo and Stitch didn't have songs, did it?
It does. It had Elvis songs because they liked Elvis.
Oh.
So they would listen to Elvis, the girl in Stitch. I'm sorry, the girl in Lilo. But yeah, I like this movie. I do feel that it's more made for guys our age who grew up on sci-fi and adventure comics rather than like little kids. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
Summer's in this too.
Is that?
Free Summer's in this.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to find something Free Summer isn't in.
I know. Yeah, that's true. But what do you agree with that assessment?
That bitch works.
Yeah. Do you agree with that assessment? That's more for people like us than kids.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi adventure. It's not very kiddie.
No,
there's no kids in it. You know, I think maybe that's like a thing that like you have to put kids in a movie for kids to like it, which I don't know if that's true.
Or even like a fuzzy animal, like you know.
Yeah, There's, I mean, I guess Mole was kind of like the comedy relief.
Yeah, but he looks like he's like a pervert. He looks like he like jerks off in porn theaters. So.
Yeah. And there was also the first bailiff from Night Court, who I thought was dead by that point.
Oh yeah, she's the voice of the old lady in the ship.
Yeah, I thought she had died by that point. I have to look into that.
Yeah, didn't they both die? I think it's a different woman. Hold on, I have Atlantis here. I have it on the Wikipedia page right now. I think because they both did die. For a while, everybody was dying on the set of Night Court, which was weird.
Because they kept hiring really old women, and then they were like, "Fuck this, get Marsha War. We're gonna hire this young person."
Isn't she dead too?
Marsha Warfield?
Yeah.
No, she tweeted. Okay. She actually is pretty heavy on Twitter. You know, which is funny for being her age. Like, and Jack A. Harry's on Twitter all the time too. But no, Marsha Warfield she tours. She does stand up.
She still does stand up. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Florence Stanley. Let me see who this is. Was she on Night Court? Hold on. Later roles. Death. She died in 2003. But what was she in? Oh, she was just a film actress. She was never in TV. Oh no, she was. She was only on 2 episodes of Night Court as a guest star. She was never a bailiff. Florence Stanley.
Oh.
But she was on Night Court.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, she's mainly Broadway and movies. She was in Fortune with Jack Nicholson and Warren Beatty. And she was also in Fish. She was on the show Fish.
You know, it's funny. I was looking up all the actors, and the woman who's the little Puerto Rican girl her name's Jacqueline Obradors. I'm probably saying it wrong, but she was in and I thought her voice sounded familiar. She was on NYPD Blue.
Oh, yes. Now I know who she is.
I just rewatched the first Justice League Dark movie yesterday, and the guy who voices Deadman was in NYPD Blue too. So I'm like, why is this show keep popping up right now?
Yeah. Okay, so Cree Summer was the princess. Okay.
Yeah.
That princess is pretty scantily clad. I gotta say.
Yeah, no, there was one I was like, hey now.
Hey now. I like the blonde. The blonde was hot. The evil blonde. I was like always surprised that they didn't go for the Milo being into her, but Milo probably is just like, I like a thick woman. Get the fuck out of here, white bitch.
Yeah, they were clearly evil, and like the fact that she looked like the Nazi girl in
Last Crusade.
yeah, Last Crusade. So maybe that was it. Maybe that's why I just didn't trust her from the start.
I did like also finally have Michael J. Fox in Disney movie because I feel like he should be doing more voice work because I love his voice. I think his voice is so fucking great.
Yeah, and you know he does that disease affect his voice too?
No,
Okay.
no, which is why I think he can. He had already retired from acting when he did this movie, but like he could do the voice. So.
Because I thought it made his voice kind of shaky.
Well, I think if you're shaking naturally, your voice shakes. If you keep
Yeah.
shaking, like right now I'm shaking and my voice is shaking, and I don't have that disease. So.
Oh yeah, that was another thing about this movie. Joss Whedon helped write it.
Oh really? Okay, that's why there were some lines that felt more like Buffy lines than Disney lines. Okay.
Yeah, this is a very not Disney movie.
No, it's not. It's very, and I kind of feel like they had the itch to make more action films because they wanted to get the boy market.
Yeah.
And I just think under the Disney Animated Studios banner, you cannot make an action movie because people are not going to respond to it. They want Frozen. They want Little Mermaid, And I think they realize we got to buy Marvel. We have to buy, if we're going to get boys, we have to buy Marvel and Star Wars. And I think, as we can tell, it fucking worked,
Yeah. Did you watch the Road to El Dorado or whatever?
No, how is that? People either love it or hate it.
I haven't seen it either, but it feels like just from just clips and the story, it feels like this kind of movie.
Yeah, well, I think the fact that movie bombed and El Dorado bombed, I think that's when they realized we have to go to all CGI.
Yeah,
because they were trying to do serious movies in 2D animation, and I think also Prince of Egypt bombed. I always forget that was a thing.
I actually saw that in the movies. I don't know how or why.
Yeah, how did that happen? I don't know anyone who's even seen that movie. How was that movie?
It's not a bad movie.
The only thing I remember about that movie is the song by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston.
Yeah, it's a really good song, and the animation was good, and it's the Bible story, so there's a lot of death.
Yeah, I'm interested in doing a DreamWorks because DreamWorks has really gone head to head with Disney in the 2000s, and I'm interested in when I get done with all the Disney films, go looking into the DreamWorks shit.
Yeah. The one thing that bothered me about it didn't bother me, but
Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis. So these white colonizers come, and I was like, if you're brown in any way brown, do not invite white people into the land.
Even if you're underwater brown.
Even if you're underwater. It was clearly a mistake. There's no situation in human history where that goes well for you.
Yeah.
So here are these brown people with white skin, and the one guy, the doctor, is literally he was like every bit of Black history in one person. He was a Buffalo Soldier. He went to Howard. It was like everything they knew about Black.
Oh yeah, he did go to Howard. Oh yeah, I think the voice actor brought some of that stuff to them.
Phil Morris.
Yeah,
he had to because white people don't know any of that shit.
No, those guys don't know that. No.
Nothing. Joss Whedon doesn't know about Howard.
Yeah,
but this guy had every bit of Black history in him. He went to Howard. He was a Buffalo Soldier. He was half Native American. Everything. Mm-hmm. And when it's clear that two white people are gonna once again rape these brown people of all their treasures, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna be okay with this.
Yeah.
There's no way he could be okay with this. And then so they're making off with the princess, and I'm like, where is he? Where is he to stop this? I'm like, this is a huge plot hole. But then they were like, he was with the king because he's a doctor, so he was watching it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he was kind of not as vocal. Even towards the end, it's Milo. And I get Milo's the main character, so
yeah.
If all of a sudden this guy rose up I'm leading the charge, and Milo just kind of stood there with the. But even when Milo's let's go do this, he was no, he was kind of like no, let's not. And be like, really? I thought he'd be all about it. Okay.
Yeah. And then it did help make me feel better that the first person who left the truck was the brown girl.
Yes.
And I'm like, come on, you cannot be okay with this.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he was on. Maybe he's like, I have an Uncle Tom. I don't know. Maybe that's like that.
But the doctor didn't know because he was like far away. So I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the brown girl was the first one who was like, okay, this isn't right. And I was like, all right, good. I was like, as long as the brown people aren't on board with raping these people of their treasures,
Yeah.
like I can deal with this.
The little white guy with glasses has to convince the brown people that it's wrong to
that
it's wrong to rape foreigners. Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah. And and both of them died. So that's cool. Though Disney movies do kill their bad guys.
They do. I never saw Tarzan before, and I saw this for this project, and I was shocked the way they kill the villain in Tarzan. They basically like break his neck, and I don't want to spoil it, but
yeah, I saw it. I just don't remember. Yeah,
they do some gruesome deaths for their bad guys, and it's like, I think that they like just want to remind you, if you're not you be a good person and you can sing and go to Disneyland, but if you're a bad person, we are gonna snap your fucking neck.
You will die. James Garner was very good in this.
He was great. Mm-hmm. I feel like the whole voice cast had a blast because they know, like, making a Disney movie. I would jump to be a voice in a Disney movie. I really would. And I think so many actors would, so many comedians would. Yeah. And I always think, like, everyone. But I do feel like people gave it more of an effort after Robin Williams because Robin Williams was so fucking good. And that role is so career-defining. And it's just a voice role that I feel now every actor tries to give 1,000%. Whereas I think, like, in the old days, they would kind of half-ass it.
Like, I would hate if this movie had songs. But
I feel like it would have done better if it did.
It would have. It most definitely would have.
Well, Maya has a song during the end credits. Did you hear that song?
Yeah, it was good. Because if you took the songs out of Hercules, nobody would have seen it.
No. Actually, I don't really like it. Do you like Hercules? I don't really like it that much.
I saw it when I was in the hospital. It literally, the music was the only thing the music and James Woods were the only things about that. And
it's so frustrating how talented James Wood is and what a lunatic he is on Twitter.
He's a complete fucking lunatic. That's why they wrote him out of Family Guy.
Oh, really? Because he was that crazy? I would just put up with his craziness because he's so fucking funny and talented that I would just be like, all right, just whatever, just go rant. But he really rants himself. Like, dude, like, I want you not to be like this because you're so talented.
Yeah, they wrote him. Their high school was originally James Woods High School. Mm-hmm. They renamed the high school and they killed him because he was playing James Woods, so they didn't kill his character; they killed him.
And what do they named the high school now? What's it called now?
I forgot what it's called, but yeah, it's not James Woods High School. It's Adam West High School now.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, well, Adam West can't go crazy.
After Adam West died, they named the high school after him. And they did a really nice eulogy for Carrie Fisher on Family Guy too.
Okay.
When she died, they had a funeral for her character, but you could tell they were talking about Carrie Fisher. It was really sweet.
Yeah, no, they really like their guest stars. When Seth MacFarlane likes a celebrity, he likes a celebrity. That's why, like, it's so sad how far James Wood has fallen because he's really good. He's really good, man. I would still cast him in something. If they said to me James Wood's interested in your movie, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about the tweets. Let's put him in because I know he's going to give 1,010%. You know?
Yeah, I'd probably just like put something in his like contract that he can't tweet.
Oh, he won't sign that. I guarantee you, he'll attack you at that meeting. You won't even get a word in. He'd be sitting there and be like, oh, I'm so happy you're in my movie, James Woods, but here, I have a contract that you can't tweet. He would literally leap across the table, start choking you. And be like, okay, no, you can tweet. Just fucking do the movie. Holy shit.
But yeah, so James Garner does a great job. But like you said, he gets chopped up in a rotor.
Yes, but doesn't the beautiful woman have like the airplane fall on her or something?
Yeah, they were in a like a big like it was like a hot air balloon, but it had rotors too to make it go up. James Woods fell into the rotors and it blew up and it fell on the other girl. So they both died horrible, screaming, fiery deaths.
Jesus, doesn't pay to be a bad guy.
So be a good person, or you'll get trampled in a stampede, or have your neck broken.
Even in Frozen, which is like the most like woke, the villain. No, the villain. No, the villain doesn't die. He gets arrested. Okay, never mind. Now they're pussies. Okay. In the old days, that villain would have got frozen to death, and then the moose would have shattered him into a million pieces, and then like
a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Little kid would have peed on him. Yeah, it would have been pretty brutal. So,
yeah.
John, let me ask you: do you think parents are able to show their kids this movie nowadays, since it's like 19 years later?
Yeah, I don't think it's not. I don't think it's scary. I think it's beautiful. Like a lot of the animation, like when she walked out onto the water, that was really pretty. There's really good animation in this.
I kind of feel
show it to kids.
Yeah, I think you're right. I kind of feel like a little bit, and I don't know how you feel, but I kind of feel like also like a little. There's like a sadness to this movie to me because of when it came out. It came out 2 months before 9/11, and I kind of feel like that was like the last like kind of like innocent summer before the world went to hell.
Yeah.
So I have like this sadness to like this and Swordfish and a couple other movies from that era that, it almost feels like a different world after 9/11. And it's crazy to me because now we have 9/11 every single day. And all we do is like, fuck it, we want to go to the gym. So
there was a 9/11 joke in the last episode of Rick and Morty. Not the last one, the second to last episode. And first of all, like my mouth was hanging open for like 10 seconds.
What's the joke?
It was they're flying around. They're in their little spaceship and they're flying around this alien civilization that's trying to kill them. And they're just blowing everything up. And they're like, "This is fun. It's like Star Wars. There's no consequences. There's no guilt." And they're like, "Yeah, it's fun. There's no guilt." So they're like blowing up all this stuff. And then they come to these like two big alien towers. And
my God. Yes.
They both just stare at it. They stare at it for a good 5 seconds. And they're like, "No, we're better than this." They're like, "Yeah, we're better than this." And they fly around it. And Rick's like, "I'm proud of us." No, they stare at it for 5 seconds and then they fly around them like respectfully. And Rick's like, "I'm proud of us. We're better than this." Yeah, we're better than this. And then they come across a shipyard and they're like, "Is it too soon for Pearl Harbor?" And they're like, "No, Pearl Harbor's fine." So they blow up all the shit.
See, what I would have done, what I know of Rick's character, we're better than this. Morty goes to the bathroom, Rick turns the ship around and blows up the towers. That's what I would have done. I mean, I think it's okay to do 9/11 jokes now, and I'll tell you why. Because nobody seems to give a shit that 3,000 people are dying in this country a fucking day at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we have just completely dropped that we care about anyone bullshit in this country. Like, literally, they were cheering that they got this. Did you see the gym in Jersey that reopened this morning?
No. The one reopened? I was just, like, right before this, I was talking to my friend about gyms reopening. She's like, "Who knows when they're going to reopen?"
A gym defied the order this morning. They reopened, and the cops didn't arrest the guy. They just gave him a citation, and the people cheered and started chanting USA and ran to the gym like they just – I mean, these people reacted like it's 1932, and they said, "Hey, black people can now sit anywhere they want in the bus." Like they went back in time and got this done before the 60s. Like that's how they were reacting. And it's like literally like we're going to go to we just don't give a shit that people are dying. We just only care about ourselves. And that's why I feel like 9/11 jokes are okay, because you don't actually give a fuck about, I mean, I do. But I'm saying most people, you don't really give a fuck about the people that died in the tower. You just use an excuse for your political views, you know?
Yeah, not people around here. Not
people around here, but people in general. Like that's why it's like we've dropped the veneer of this country that we actually care for one another. I mean, and because now we're like, it's my right to go to Applebee's. It's really not. Applebee's is horrible for you. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's like this whole thing has been very depressing.
Yeah, no, it's because I mean, like, unless you're from New York or New Jersey and Connecticut, because a lot of people from Connecticut work there too. But it still hits me. Like you can drive into South Jersey, you can drive to the Jersey Shore, and there's 9/11 monuments because people commuted to New York from far away.
Yeah.
People would drive from the shore every day to work in the city. So it's not like. So I think for us, like I saw it. My girlfriend at the time's father worked for the Port Authority, and he was just lucky to not be there that day.
Mm-hmm. No, I think I mean I'm still sad about it, but like I'll make jokes about it, but I'm still sad about it. But I think the reason why I almost feel like 9/11 affected people more than this, when this is becoming like a million times worse, is because you had a symbol. And I'm learning now, in terms of leading people, like I remember Bill Burr said, it doesn't matter who's the president. And now that we have a president who's a complete fucking lunatic, I'm like, it does matter. Like the president is a symbol, and that building is a symbol. So, you say 3,000 people doesn't register, but you put like a building that's kind of iconic, and then it becomes real people, and people want to take action. I think if like Michael Jordan died of corona today, everything in this country would shut down, no questions asked, because then we lost the symbol. You know what I'm saying?
Or if Kobe had
Kobe had COVID, if Vince died of COVID and not that plane crash, nobody would have a problem with shutting down.
Yeah. So we need to like Ozymandias this.
Give it to MJ, Drake. We gotta get some white people in there. Billy Joel, Elton John.
Yeah, for the greater good.
Paul McCartney, and then no one will want to go to the gym. Like, well, if Michael Jordan sacrificed his life, I could sacrifice the gym and wear Bulls jerseys like you did something with your life.
Yeah, just like for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Just
because once Tom Hanks got it, that's when they canceled everything. I don't know if you remember, but people were like blowing this off until Tom Hanks went on TV and said, "I have it," and then suddenly, all of a sudden, de Blasio went from "this isn't a big deal" to bars at 50% capacity, like because Tom Hanks was a symbol.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, people are all these Thanos was right and Killmonger was right. No, Ozymandias was right.
Yeah, he was right. You need a moment. You need something, and that's the thing I'm learning, and that there's an importance in this country and with general population of symbols, and that's why I used to argue with my friend, and I don't mean to get political on Disney podcasts, but whatever, our lives are over. So this is what makes this podcast so interesting. I used to say Occupy Wall Street's not going to last because you need a leader. No, you don't. This is a leader of this movement. I go, no movement can be leaderless. If Martin Luther King and Malcolm X aren't there speaking as awesomely as they spoke, would we have had the progress we had in civil rights? You always need someone there as a symbol or as a thing to get things done. You need a leader.
Yeah, and that's that actually you can still relate this back to the movie of when they told like it. That was actually the weirdest part of it when they're like, "We need a leader," and it's like, "How about this guy we just met?"
Yeah, well, he had glasses, so.
Yeah, he had glasses and he knew the language, so they hated him originally for like the first half of the movie for no reason.
Well, he was a little annoying.
They treated him like shit, and they're like, "Now you're our leader." It's what? Those people. The doctor could have been a leader easily. He had.
I know. Yeah, the doctor could have been the leader. Well, Disney wasn't ready for that yet. Disney
wasn't.
Disney does not have a black lead until 2009, and I'm covering movies from the 30s, and we're right now up to 2001. Okay, we're up to 2001. We're past Biggie and Tupac. We are past Whitney Houston, and they still haven't had a black lead. So, and they've now done 2 or 3 movies in Africa, and they're still an all-white cast. So they weren't ready. They just were not ready. For that guy to become that guy to step up, that doctor to step up. You're lucky he was a doctor. You're lucky.
Well, yeah. Again, that was probably the actor.
Yeah, probably was really just like a hand. I think the actor did educate them. I remember that in the special features. So that was kind of cool.
They didn't know.
No, they didn't know. They knew all about dancing cups, but they didn't know about black people's.
They didn't know shit about black people.
Yeah, have you seen The Princess and the Frog?
I did, but I don't think I watched. I think it was like on in the background. I don't remember watching it like that closely.
Here's the thing that annoys me about that movie. They finally get a movie with a black lead, right? Here we are, finally after all these years.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm listening to the songs, and I like the songs. I'm like, oh, these songs are good. And then I watch the commentary, and they go like, oh, yeah, Randy Newman wrote all the songs. I'm like, the white guy wrote all the songs for the black movie? Are you kidding me?
Not Babyface or Tevin Campbell or Neo.
Neo does do one of the songs on the end credits, but Randy Newman wrote it for him. Neo didn't write it.
He's a songwriter. He's a successful songwriter.
I know. You can't get Neo to write the fucking songs. Like, who else? I mean, like, there's an ocean of artists that you could have hired to write songs for this stupid fucking movie. You hire Randy Newman.
Fucking Newman. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The first movie to be about black Southern culture, and you hire Randy Newman. Okay, great. It is what it is. One day, let me see. I'm looking at the movies left over. Nope. Big Hero 6. No. Moana. No, that's Samoan. That doesn't count. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Frozen 2. Nope, they still haven't done it. So, but they are making another one about Chinese people because they're going to take over the world. So.
Yeah. That's just hedging your bets.
Yeah, you're just hedging your bets. Listen, China created the virus, not Wakanda. So we gotta.
You remember this thing we did? We like you guys.
Yeah. Hey, Mulan, and because the next one is about a Chinese legend. I forget what it's called, but it was supposed to come out in the fall, but now it's going to come out next year at some point because of Corona. But John, where can people find you on social media if they want to follow your adventures?
I am on Twitter at Don Coyote, which is a reference to an extremely obscure Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh, which one is that?
Don Coyote.
Oh yes, okay. I thought you were talking about Pirates of Darkwater for a second.
No, it was Don Quixote, but he was a coyote.
Oh yes, okay.
And his sidekick was Sancho Panda.
That's a very obscure one.
Extremely obscure.
Yeah.
And this just shows that I will watch any cartoon.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I will bring you back when I get a movie that nobody wants to watch. So.
Cool.
I'm glad I had you on this because I try to cater every movie to people I know, and you're an older nerd like I am. So I was like, all right, this movie needs an older nerd's touch, and you're perfect for
it. Thank you. I'm glad all that sitting at home watching TV and not having sex paid off.
It paid off. Listen, it's paying off. When I become the biggest Disney podcast in the world, all that non-sex I had is just people are gonna beg to have sex with me because I did this. So
that's the point.
That's the point. Are you on Instagram as well, or?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at exit_11, spelled out.
Okay, you follow me. I should know that. Sorry.
Yeah.
What is Exit 11 a reference to? I know you use that with everything.
It's the exit I lived off of because I'm from Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a turnpike exit for where I grew up.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Because I am a stereotype.
Oh, okay. Why? Is Exit 11 like a...
It's a Jersey thing. What exit?
Oh, okay. See, I'm from Astoria. So.
Well, yeah. Whenever you meet somebody else from Jersey, you ask them what exit you're off of, and then you get a good idea of where they're from.
Oh, that's great. Okay, cool. So if you've discovered this podcast because you love John Minus, or you love Atlantis, or you love cartoon characters who go to Howard University, I've done. Please check out our archives. I've done every Disney animated film from Snow White up until this. Next week we are doing Lilo and Stitch with Yumi Kordinsky. You can also find me on social media at Goots' Disney Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Although it's Disney, Goots is Disney something on a fucking Twitter. I don't know. No one follows me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you just got this far. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Ray Goots, Facebook Ray Goots, where I do a lot of my ranting there. And subscribe to the podcast and stuff. And do you know Yumi, who's on next week? Have you ever met her?
No.
Okay. She's doing Lilo and Stitch. She was a kid. I'm trying to, now that I'm getting more into the mid-2000s, I'm trying to get comedians who are actually children during those years.
Yeah.
Rather than angry 20-year-olds, which we were.
The rudest thing that I think about that movie is I was dating a Filipino girl at the time, but I was still friends with one of my exes, and she called her Lilo because they had the same nose, and I'm like, that's rude.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It was catty. It was acceptable catty.
Oh yeah, Lilo is a funny name to insult a girl with. Shut up, Lilo. That is a funny name. But it's kind of racist, but also it's really funny. I gotta admit. Yeah.
I mean, they were both Pacific Islanders. I mean, it's not.
Okay, well, hey, it's not racist when you're both the same race. That's fine.
It's still catty.
It's just catty, but at that point, it's fine. It's acceptable racism, I'll say. John, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I had a blast talking about Atlantis and just cartoons in general.
Thanks. This is fun.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Next week I'll be back with Yumi and Lilo and Stitch. See you next time.